I can remember when I was some of these children's age. In fact, 61 years ago tonight, I had the chicken pox. Christmas Eve. And I was miserable. I couldn't wait for Christmas morning. And the presents, I was sure, was under the Christmas tree. There's nothing like a wrapped present to get the imagination going. Our boys used to sneak into the living room late at night, early on Christmas morning, to pick up the packages that Santa had left and shake them, just trying to figure out what was in them. We love to watch the flying flurry of wrapping paper as kids tear apart mysterious packages on Christmas morning. And kids are fairly easy to shop for when it comes to Christmas gifts. Santa knows that he can't go wrong with a long sought-after toy. Santa also knows that things go well so long as socks, underwear, pajamas, and slippers are kept to a minimum. Do you remember Ralphie in the Christmas Story and his pink bunny sleeper that he got from, who was it, his grandmother? Aunt, I'm sorry. And he was just mortified, So keep the PJs, keep the underwear, the slippers, the pajamas to a minimum, and the kids are great. When shopping for adults, however, we can have some problems. Particularly when it comes to sending that right message to the recipient. Sometimes it's a message of love, characterized by that meticulous search for exactly the right gift that will bring a smile to the face of the person receiving it. Sometimes it's the message of love characterized by that meticulous search. But sometimes it's a message of last-minute desperation. Or even distaste. I saw some of the last-minute desperation this afternoon. Just needed to get out of the house. I drove down to Walmart, wasn't spending a dime, just walking around watching. There was lots of last-minute desperation going on at Walmart this afternoon. Maybe even some distaste. It's a way of saying, I don't care enough to send you the very best. Instead, I'll wait till the last moment and get you something you'll hate. And these are the kind of gifts that become the worst gifts ever used. These are the kind of gifts that make you stare blankly. Where'd that come from? And if gifts are a kind of relational currency indicating that how we really feel about one another, then a bad gift says that you care enough to send the very least. So here are a few examples. First, the I bought me this gift. And this kind of gift is commonly given by men. Okay? I may be in trouble when this is over, or tomorrow morning when some of you ladies start opening gifts, but these kind of gifts, I bought this gift for me. If a man buys his wife a waffle iron, for example, it's really a way of saying, honey, now you can make me waffles, aren't you excited? In fact, fact, any kitchen appliance fits into this category, as does lingerie, which is really a gift for the man. I might be digging this whole deeper. Then there's the worthless novelty gift. I'd seen them advertised on TV, but I didn't think they were out there. But I ran into a bin of these things the other day. You know, the worthless novelty gift. The Chia Pet, the Chia Trump, the Chia Hillary, the Chia Sanders, the Chia, who was the other one? Obama. They're out there. I see them advertised on TV, but I actually found a place where you could purchase those things if you wanted to. Then there's that subcategory. That would be the re-gift. Something the giver once received, hated, and decided to transfer to you. Aren't you excited? So I asked folks a couple weeks ago here on one Sunday morning if they would write down on a slip of paper some of the worst gifts they had ever received at Christmas. So here you go. My worst Christmas gift. A large stained glass looking rooster lamp with an evil red eye. I received it at a club gift exchange. I re-gifted it to my sister, who decorated her kitchen with roosters. Somehow she broke it. Here's another one. A wood-carved Mr. Potato Head with my name engraved. It happened to be the year that I was bald for Christmas. The giver did not mean it as a joke. The gift was great for a lot of laughs. This slip actually says, "This is from a female." The worst gift I ever received was a set of scales from my mother-in-law 2 different years. Do you think her mother-in-law was trying to send her a message with these Christmas gifts? Very relational, wasn't it? I think this might be from one of her kids. It says, the worst gift was when I got tons of clothes and underwear. And this one might have been as well. Maybe from when you were younger. It says, the worst gift was a doll. I didn't want one. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the message a particular gift might be sending. For good or ill. Christmas Eve, though, reminds us that there is one gift whose message is constant every year and for every person. In sending Jesus Christ into the world of human experience, God sent a strong message about divine love and grace. The grace of God has appeared, says Paul to Titus, speaking of the coming of Jesus Christ into the world. But this is no ordinary gift of the kind that we give at Christmas. It was not given based on the apparent worth of the recipient. St. Paul understood that God gave the world a gift that was immeasurably precious. And God did so in such lavish measure to everyone, regardless of the worthiness of the recipient. Instead, no one is worthy of such a precious gift. Not one of us. Since we are all sinners who have no room to boast about our standings or accomplishments before God. We deserve the lousiest gift. The chia trunk or the chia cat or Mr. Potato Head with our name engraved on it or the red-eyed rooster. We deserve the lousiest of gifts, if any at all. Yet God gives us only the best. God gives us Jesus. In other words, God gave God to the world. And that gift appears wrapped and ready in a manger, bringing salvation to all, Paul says in Titus. It's a gift, an offer to everyone who will simply unwrap and receive it. But how do we receive it, and what does it do for us individually? You see, the gift of grace in the life of Jesus requires the response of giving our lives. Not just our intellectual assent to the idea of grace, but the actual practical living out of the gift in everyday lives. The gift is given for the purpose of training us to renounce impiety and worldly passions, and in the present age, Paul says, to live lives that are self-controlled, upright, and godly. Or as the New Living Translation puts it, to turn from godless living and sinful pleasures. We should live in this evil world with wisdom, righteousness, and devotion to God. This gift not only redeems us from the blemishes of sin, it also purifies us for the work of being a person of His own, who is zealous for good deeds. In other words, grace not only makes us cleaner than any soap on a rope ever could, grace is the gift that purposes us for redeeming and purifying work in God's kingdom in this very present time. While we wait for the blessed hope and the manifestation of the glory of our great God and Savior in Jesus Christ. Christ the gift has come not only to save us from sin and death, He's come to save us for the good redemptive work He prepared for us to do. You know, on Christmas Eve, it's easy to think about the kinds of gifts that we want to receive in the morning. Sure, there's going to be some clunkers in the mix. One of you guys may have actually gotten your wife a waffle iron. Or how about a KitchenAid mixer? Huh? But then again, who doesn't like waffles, huh? Who doesn't like waffles? You know, there will be gifts that you'll laugh about for years. Some of these gifts may be destined for the closet, or a yard sale next summer, or Goodwill next week. Or you may even re-gift them next Christmas. The gift of grace, however, is different. It's a gift exclusively designed to be the right gift for the recipient. God's gift sends the message that you and I are loved. That God desires our salvation. That God sees us as worthy. God's gift is a gift that begs for us to respond. how can we respond to this fabulous gift except by offering our lives, ourselves in service? Moreover, God's gift is the best gift. It's a gift that we must share with others. It's never kept simply for our own use. God's gift always comes to you on its way to someone else. You hear that? God's gift always comes to you on its way to someone else. It's a gift that calls us to give ourselves to God and to others in return. When we consider the magnitude of God's saving gift to us in Jesus Christ, we respond with joy, I would hope. The grace of God has appeared to all. Certainly the gift beyond any gift, and it truly is the gift that keeps on giving. One of the means of God's grace is Holy Communion. It's one of the ways that we are able to experience that grace of God. And in Holy Communion, we remember that Christ was born, that Christ lived a life like we live, that He died, that He was resurrected, that we might have the hope of eternity. My friends, that's the gospel. That's the good news that we find in Christ. And you, on this Christmas Eve, are invited to be partakers of this gift. I want you to know that none are excluded from the table in the United Methodist Church. We celebrate open communion, and all are welcome to experience this gift of grace.